Hi there everyone, my name's Hugh Griffiths. I am from Australia in Melbourne, and this is the final day of our retreat at Nimea Kaya. And yeah, I just wanted to speak about my experience here. For me it's been a really profound and quite life-changing experience, and I suppose that's in a lot of ways the reason a lot of people think about doing this medicine and coming to a space like this. For me, I had some personal work that I wanted to work on, some things that had happened in my past, some traumas that I was still holding on to, and some just ways of being that weren't really serving me and my happiness, and I had noticed weren't there for my inner peace, and so that was sort of my main reasons why I felt called to come and work with ayahuasca. There can be 100 reasons you could come and do this, but that was just something that I felt, and why I felt called to do it. And there's a really safe space that Nimea Kaya have provided for us here, and I feel like I felt it from day one being here. So thank you to Candice and to Matt and to all the other facilitators here. They've all been really incredible, and have really made that safe space, and that's something I hold very sacred. I've done some men's circles in the past with some of my close friends, and we try and recreate that space back home, and in those moments of my life have been some of the times where I've had the most amount of growth and can let things go. We can all hold on to so much in our lives, and these spaces where this is possible, I'm very grateful that they exist, and it's truly amazing. I'll be honest here and I'll say, when I came into this, I was speaking with my partner Gemma, and I told her I didn't know if I believed that a shaman could have such a profound impact on you and change and heal you in the ways that they can. I'm a very analytically minded person in my life, and I found it hard to step into that and believe that. And I said to my partner, I usually need to see things to believe them. This experience here at Nimea Kaya has certainly showed me that. The medicine is very powerful and beautiful, and you can connect to the spirit of ayahuasca through it, and she is incredible. But the shamans too, they are amazing, and they can really provide you healing, and they do that through singing their Icaros to you, which they've learnt through the plant spirits that they've worked with throughout their life. I just want to say thank you to all of them, all 4 shamans that Nimea Kaya work with. They've been really incredible. So very grateful to have had that opportunity, and the further throughout the ceremonies we went, I just was cherishing the opportunity to get that one-on-one time with them when they sung their personal Icaros to you. And it was some of the times throughout the ceremonies where I'd had the deepest amount of healing or work or purging or letting go, and it had been a beautiful experience. I guess I'll talk through how my ceremonies went. I guess we'll start with the first ceremony. I guess my intentions for the first one were to, like I said, let go of sort of any part of me that isn't there to serve me. Like sometimes I might have gotten angry or been defensive or had things that come up that don't act for me, and I also was holding on to some stuff from my earlier life, well, not earlier life, but my life just earlier on. And so I went into the ceremony, and we drank the medicine, and it was just the first message I got that ceremony was just an immense amount of love and gratitude for the space that we were in. It really clicked to me that this place here is like a community, and there's people volunteering here, there's people working here, there's people doing all sorts of things, but it's really a community of people that come together to enable healing for us and the people that decide to step into this work. And I got a really big message of gratitude for that. And then I had my first Icaros sung to me just after that, because I was first in the room to be sung to, and yeah, it was incredible. I felt these sensations of these tentacles. It sounds funny, but these I almost felt these tentacles sort of scanning my body in a way. I felt like they were spinning around and moving over my body, and it felt like they were scanning for any parts of me that required healing, that needed help, or I didn't exactly know what they were looking for. I'd come in with my intentions of what I wanted to work for, but you don't know exactly how it works sometimes. And yeah, it was doing that. Cecilio, one of the shamans, was singing to me, and you know, all this feeling had come on as soon as he'd started singing. I was sitting there beforehand and I wasn't feeling these sensations, and his Icaros sort of started to bring this up. He was basically calling on the spirit of ayahuasca to heal me in a deeper way, and it basically eventually caused me to purge. At the time, I didn't quite know what it was that it was coming out, but yeah, I think through his Icaros it was drawing this thing inside me out, and so that was, you know, definitely a wild thing to experience for the first time. And so after his Icaros, I sat back down and lay down for a bit and just sort of was processing, and I was having some sort of mild visions, but nothing too like, you know, otherworldly, just sort of some geometric shapes and things coming up for me. But for me, I feel like the visions were never the part that changed the experience for me. It was usually a feeling. Coming into this experience, I'd watched some of these and I'd always wondered what visions people were having, and I was always wondering why people found it so hard to describe and couldn't talk about. But when you have them, they are hard to describe, which sounds funny, but it's also not as much about that for me. For me, it was usually a feeling or a thought or something that I feel like was coming from deep within. And so when I went and laid back down on the mat, I kind of was thinking about these things that I'd been through in my life, and you know, I guess I was able to release them, and I was able to sort of, I couldn't cry, I sometimes struggle with that, but I was able to just release and have like an energetic sort of feeling. I feel like that was linked to the purging I'd done earlier, and so that was nice. That really felt like a moment where I got to release the things I was holding on to, and it was a special moment to be able to feel that, and it just felt like a real release. Like, you can sometimes talk about it and that can help you, but this just really felt like you get something out and it's out of you, and it kind of feels like it's, you know, a step further than maybe just a conversation, in a way. Some deep healing, it feels like. So that was pretty much my first ceremony. I went into the second ceremony, and you know, I'd been feeling really great after that first one, but the second one was a bit more of a struggle for me, especially at the beginning. I'd had this beautiful experience in the first ceremony where I'd experienced that, and at the start of the ceremony, my mind was kind of racing a little bit, having lots of thoughts. I was sort of struggling to stay quite present in the moment. And I was having thoughts like, you know, this isn't real, this healing isn't actually happening, and these shamans can't do what you felt last night. And it was an interesting experience to go through, because I felt like it was, on reflection, my ego sort of coming up and trying to chop back down these things that are really here to help me. And I sort of knew that at the time as well. And so I was sort of just trying to sit with it and trying to push through. But it was very exhausting trying to battle that at the start of a ceremony. We drank the medicine, and it sort of, it was interesting. I'd upped the dose from the first night and I didn't have nearly as much of an effect. And I think the message I got from Mother Ayahuasca is that I was just feeling tired that day. I sort of hadn't taken enough time to rest, which is really important between ceremonies, getting a lot of rest, because it does take a lot out of you. And yeah, I just got this message that she was being kind of kind to me and gentle, and it wasn't too intense, and just allowed me to recover a bit. And once I'd sort of started lying down for a period of time, I sort of started having these thoughts of how I could live this new life, and like this other way I could work and be of service to others, which was really interesting because I hadn't really put too much thought into a lifestyle like this before, but as soon as I thought about it, felt like something I felt very called to. And my intention as well for the ceremony was to let love come in and out and flow in and out of me naturally. And when I had been lying there for a while and thinking about this, I was coming up with things I could do and creative ways I could run this thing. And it was incredible, because when I was sitting there for a while, it sort of clicked that, well, this is a way that I could be of service to others and have love come in and out and share something with other people. And it was, it was this really interesting point where even when I thought I was just tired and I was being allowed to relax, even my intentions had been answered. So it was quite incredible. And then moving along to the next ceremony, on the third one, it was another beautiful experience. That one was probably the most special out of all of them for me. It was just where I felt really present with ayahuasca and the spirit of ayahuasca, and it was also like just internally present with myself. And it was just a really beautiful moment where I just got to sit there and really just feel no distractions from anything else. And it was a beautiful time, and it made me realize that that's something I need to integrate into my life a lot more. And it really inspired me on a deeper level than I've ever felt to do the work post this retreat to get to that state, because it was a really beautiful experience. And it's just a nice way to receive the medicine as well. I feel like the more present you are with it, the more you'll get out of it. So for anybody that is thinking about doing this, if you're in your meditation practice, I can highly recommend putting some time into it, because I think it really does help. And even at the retreat, there's been some amazing meditations done. Candice did a beautiful one the other day, and there's been each day that you do have a ceremony, you have a meditation on, and they help drop you into that space. Matt always says it's about getting out of your mind and into your heart, and that's how I felt in that third ceremony. And that's when I really received some very deep, profound messages about how I should live and what's important. I suppose that connection to yourself is the thing that's most important in life, and being able to really honor what you feel and not not let others dictate how you want to live your life, and just staying true to yourself. It can be hard, and it's not always the way it's always going to be, but for the most part, doing something that makes you happy. It sounds cliche, but these are all just messages that I got that would make me fulfilled in a deeper way than the way I'm currently living. And so it was a really beautiful message, and I feel like you feel it on a deep level when you get these ones. So that was, it was really beautiful. And then we had ceremony 4, and it was funny. I came in and my intention was to just continue that work and be really present with ayahuasca and just accept any teachings that she has. And again, I struggled to stay present for most of that ceremony, and my mind was sort of all over the place. I tried to do some meditations, and that really helped. I used some techniques that I learned throughout the 9 days here, and so that was nice to sort of start trying to overcome those barriers to being present. And I was like, I may as well just start now while I'm in the ayahuasca ceremony. But I guess the takeaway from it was similar to the number 3 ceremonies, it's going to take a lot of work to get to that point. I'm grateful that I got to feel what that point that I need to get to is, but in the most loving way possible. It's probably what I needed to feel. It's not just going to come from one ceremony here and poof, your life is changed and you're the person you want to be. It kind of gives you glimpses and inspires you in the ways you need to push yourself, and I feel like that's the way ayahuasca works. It can be hard sometimes for a lot of people. I was lucky it was quite gentle with me for the most part, but there's been a lot of experiences I've heard over this week, and it can just happen in so many different ways. But the biggest message that we all came to know and try and feel was to just trust the medicine. And I was lucky after the second ceremony I started to distrust it again a little bit, but I was able to push through that and really step back into that level of trust. And you really do have to, because sometimes people don't always know what the message is after the ceremony, but when they unpack it later on, they may get some lessons out of it. So yeah, it can be hard and it is exhausting sometimes, but it is worth it. With everything I can say and feel about it, I really, from the bottom of my heart, believe this has been some of the most worth it work I've ever done, and especially at Nimea Kaya. They really make it a safe place to do that. So yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone, to the team here at Nimea Kaya, to the facilitators, to Gemma, my partner, for being amazing, and to all the people I've met here over my 9 days here. You've all been really beautiful, and we really feel like we have a family here, and they're very close to me and hold a very special place in my heart. So very blessed and grateful for this experience and to have all these people. Yeah, it's an incredible place. So thank you for listening, and